Hello everyone, Jack here. Welcome back to Epic Breakdown, where we dive into the scandals, betrayals, and forbidden secrets TV doesn't want you to notice. And let me tell you, tonight's story is about to get messy. Because in the Gilded Age Season 3, three relationships are crashing into each other like runaway trains. And only one is going to survive. Now let me ask you this, have you ever rooted for a couple on TV, only to watch their entire romance crumble in the space of one shocking episode? That's exactly what's happening right now with Oscar Van Ruggen and Turner. Yeah, you heard me right. Oscar, still broken by John Adams' tragic death, has gone crawling back to the very woman who betrayed Bertha Russell. What could possibly go wrong, right? But here's where it gets darker. While Oscar is playing with fire, Gladys Russell has found her spark in Hector, a man her mother despises. A forbidden love story is brewing right under Bertha's nose, and it's got the potential to blow the Russell dynasty apart from the inside. And just when you think things can't get more tangled, Larry Russell and Marion Brooke are still dancing around each other. Circling, teasing, holding back. But for how long? Here's the part no one's talking about. These three romances are not separate stories. They're three sides of the same coin. Every move Oscar, Gladys, and Marion make is tied to Bertha Russell's empire, and one wrong step could collapse it all. The real question is, who will survive the season and who will be destroyed? And listen, before I break this whole thing wide open, I have to say this: if you're the kind of person who loves unraveling hidden storylines, forbidden affairs, and shocking betrayals, then hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss the secrets I'm about to drop. So let's start with Oscar and Turner, because honestly, this one makes my jaw drop. Remember back in Season 1 when Turner schemed to seduce George Russell, nearly tearing Bertha's reputation to shreds? Everyone thought she was gone for good, exiled after her betrayal. But Oscar, grieving, desperate, lonely Oscar, has dragged her back into the story. Why? Some say it's grief. Some say it's lust. But here's my theory: Oscar knows Turner is poison, and he's drinking it anyway. He doesn't want love. He wants revenge. Revenge against Bertha for humiliating him. Revenge against the world for taking John away. And Turner, she's just the perfect weapon. But let me loop you into a dangerous possibility no one's saying out loud. What if Turner isn't just back for Oscar? What if she's setting her sights on something bigger, like dismantling the Russell family from within? Imagine her whispering lies into Oscar's ear, pushing him into reckless schemes, until suddenly Bertha's carefully built empire cracks wide open. Doesn't it sound just like Turner to use Oscar as her pawn? Now, I want to throw this back to you. Be honest. Do you think Oscar is falling for Turner out of love, grief, or pure spite? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I'll tell you this: I think we're looking at one of the most dangerous pairings in the Gilded Age. But don't get too comfortable, because Gladys Russell is about to light her own fire. Picture this. Bertha has spent years grooming Gladys like a prized jewel, shaping her into the perfect society daughter. And what does Gladys do? She falls for Hector, an outsider, a man who doesn't fit Bertha's plan. Now, you might think this is just another youthful rebellion, but no. This is the crack in the foundation of Bertha's empire. And here's the forbidden knowledge fans aren't talking about. Gladys' romance with Hector mirrors Bertha's own secret past. That's right. Before she became the iron-fisted queen of New York society, Bertha herself was the outsider clawing her way into power. So when Gladys chooses Hector, she's not just rebelling against her mother. She's repeating her mother's story. And if history repeats itself, that means Gladys' love affair could destroy, or redefine, the Russell dynasty. So let's pause for a second. Imagine this with me: Bertha storms into a ballroom, finds Gladys on Hector's arm, and realizes her daughter is choosing passion over power. Does Bertha fight for control, or does she finally see herself in her daughter's defiance? I want to hear from you. Would you root for Gladys and Hector to survive? Or do you think Bertha will crush them before it even begins? Now, while Oscar burns himself with Turner and Gladys risks everything for Hector, we still have Larry Russell and Marion Brooke, the romance that never quite starts, but never quite ends either. Tell me this isn't the most frustrating slow burn in TV right now. Larry is honorable, Marion is cautious, and both of them are trapped between love and loyalty. And yet, you can feel it. Every glance, every hesitation, every moment, they want each other. Here's the secret: HBO doesn't want to admit Larry and Marion's storyline is not just a romance. It's the beating heart of the Gilded Age. If they come together, it could unite the old money of Agnes Van Ruggen's world with the new power of the Russells. But if they break apart, it's war. And here's a thought experiment for you. What if Marion finally gives in to Larry, right as Bertha discovers Gladys' forbidden love and Oscar's betrayal? 3 explosive storylines colliding at once. The ballroom lights, the whispers, the scandal. This is the chaos that could define Season 3. So stay with me, because in the next part, I'm going to reveal why Oscar and Turner's reunion is more dangerous than anyone realizes, how Gladys' forbidden romance could bring down Bertha herself, and why Larry and Marion's love story might be the key to uniting, or destroying, New York society. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So let's talk about something the writers probably don't want you to notice. Because if you catch it, the entire illusion of high society perfection in the Gilded Age Season 3 shatters. Did you notice how Oscar Van Ruggian's scandal wasn't just a moment of heartbreak, but a calculated strike against his family's entire reputation? Think about it. Oscar's secret relationship with John Adams wasn't just a tragic love story. It was a dangerous political liability. And now with John gone, Oscar is left vulnerable, exposed, and desperate. Here's my forbidden theory: someone in New York's elite leaked Oscar's private life on purpose. But who? Was it Bertha herself, trying to distance the Russell empire from scandal? Or could it be Ward McAllister, clinging to relevance in the cruelest way possible? Now, before I take you down that rabbit hole, hit pause for a second. If you've been enjoying these breakdowns and you want the real truths of this show, the theories no one else will even touch, make sure you subscribe to Epic Breakdown right now. Because trust me, the things we're about to uncover are not for casual fans. Alright, back to the fire. Let's peel back the next forbidden layer: Gladys Russell's dangerous new romance. At first glance, it feels innocent. Just another young heiress meets charming suitor storyline. But no, the writers are smarter than that. Gladys is being lured into the same traps her mother fought against. She's falling for the idea of rebellion. But rebellion in this world isn't cute, it's deadly. Because here's the secret: Gladys' lover. He's tied to debts, corruption, and possibly even George's enemies in the rail wars. If that's true, then Gladys isn't just risking her heart. She's handing over the Russell Empire's weakest point to the very people who want to see her family ruined. And it gets darker. Let's rewind to George Russell's assassination attempt. Everyone's talking about the shooter, the chaos, the shock. But nobody's asking the real question: who actually ordered the hit? Because here's the twist nobody saw coming. It might not have been a faceless enemy. It might have been someone inside the Russell household. Imagine the horror if the Russells' greatest betrayal comes not from Wall Street, not from Washington, but from their own dinner table. Let me ask you this, because I want to hear your theories in the comments. Who do you think betrayed George? Was it a rival tycoon, an abandoned ally, or could it be someone close, maybe even Turner, the servant Bertha cast out in disgrace back in Season 1, finally returning for revenge? Drop your answers below, because I'm telling you, this mystery is bigger than HBO is letting on. And speaking of betrayal, let's circle back to Larry Russell and Marion Brooke. Now, I know some fans want them together. They see the romance, the longing stares, the tragic miscommunications. But let me play devil's advocate. What if Marion rejecting Larry wasn't a mistake, but foreshadowing? Remember, in this world, love isn't the prize, it's the weapon. By denying Larry, Marion may have saved herself from being swallowed whole by the Russells' downfall. And yet, here's where it loops back. What if rejecting Larry was her greatest mistake? What if Marion ends up tied to someone far worse, dragging her into a fate she can't escape? And this is where the show loves to torture us. Because it's not just about the relationships we want. It's about the ones we're afraid of. Here's a question for you guys. If you had to choose, would you rather see Marion stay independent, breaking every social norm, or risk everything by tying herself to Larry and the Russells' cursed empire? Comment below. I'm curious which side of history you'd stand on. Now let's jump back to Ward McAllister. Oh, Ward, the king of social climbing, the man who thought he could outplay Bertha Russell. But here's the secret nobody's talking about. His book wasn't just vanity. It was a weapon. By publishing society's secrets, Ward basically painted a target on his own back. And here's my theory. Ward isn't just going to fade away quietly. He's going to burn the entire house down with him. What if his so-called fall isn't the end, but the start of an even deadlier chapter? What if Ward McAllister becomes the show's ultimate villain, not because of power, but because he has nothing left